This is LaRonda.
Hello. Power off.
And tonight we are still in my sister's book. We're going to skip the music section. LaRonda's not, she's a little under the weather this week, so keep her in your prayers. We're still in my sister's book, My Life Story. And so um, I'd like to pull it up and look at it.
Oh, okay. And I told Tony, I said, some people might think, how is reading your mom or your sister's book online part of a way to a great marriage cast? I'll tell you how. Because they're given the story of their life, what they've been through, who they've married, and their life in how they've had successful marriages. So we wanted to share other people's lives with you too, other than just ours. So
And so I did think about tonight. There is a good episode on Tucker Carlson. He interviews Dave Ramsey, and I would
yeah,
recommend. I almost thought that we could watch that and get you guys to watch it with us and comment. But go over there to tuckercarlson.com and watch Dave Ramsey's interview with Tucker Carlson. It's probably on YouTube by now too, and it's a great. It's very important for families
yes,
to learn how to deal with their finances.
I watched it last night.
Yes, I know you did.
Yes,
I sent it.
it was good.
I thought about sending it to everybody today, but I sent it to my kids.
Yeah,
But
we sent it to Billy. I did.
you sent
Today.
it to
Yeah.
them, yeah. And so we are in the next section. I don't know if she has these as chapters. My sister's book, My Life Story.
Show her a picture if you've not seen her. We call her Sissy or Dissy. She's our Sissy.
Waiting for the lag to keep catch up. Okay, so she entitled this section, What is the Furthest You Have Ever Traveled? I think she said that Holly sent her questions for her to answer, and she answered them, then put them in a book. Uh, when I was young, we didn't travel much. Dad always said that when I was 16, he would buy a new car and we would travel. Let's see, bought the car in 73. Let's see, that would have made her 17.
Yeah.
He lived up to his promise, I guess.
Yeah.
When,
A little late, but.
When I was 17, he did buy a new car. There we go. But by then, I had already left home, so they reluctantly traveled without me.
God love.
Up to that point, I had traveled only 300 miles from home. I was anxious to uh, venture forth and began an odyssey of traveling far beyond what my parents or ancestors had ever experienced. Most of the money I saved went toward travel. I went by car across the United States. My first commercial flight was to visit a friend in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. When I was 20, Dad, Mom, Tony, and I drove to Galveston, Texas,
That was a good one.
and New Orleans, stopping by Dallas to visit cousins. I had such a wanderlust that I moved to Arizona and met Brian. After we married, we did a lot of traveling because it was adventurous when we
Yes.
took vacation to get Brian out of town. So he couldn't go to the office for patient emergencies.
She was a dentist.
We visited Ralph and Helen, Brian's parents, when they lived in Bonn, Germany,
Wow.
and toured Europe. We flew our airplane to Kentucky and California. Because Brian grew up there, Hawaii was a annual vacation for many years. We enjoyed going on many cruises, which included the Mediterranean, Greece,
Mm.
and Jerusalem, Alaska, Hawaii, and Mexico Riviera, Riviera, and the Panama Canal.
Wow, Cece, you went everywhere.
Yeah. At this stage of life, we enjoy spending our vacation travel with Holly, Thomas, Nelson, Ingrid, and Hendrik. Every year, I have returned to Kentucky at least twice. That always feels like home. This is a picture of Brian, Holly, and me in 2005 on one of our favorite cruises to Alaska. I'll give you a little time to look at it.
It takes a minute to look.
Whenever it's hot, it's probably a good idea to go to Alaska.
Yes, yeah, in the summer.
Next question, I'm assuming, was what was your childhood bedroom like?
Oh,
It's still set up.
yeah, it is.
It's still there.
It's still there.
My mother had an artistic talent. She enjoyed remodeling and decorating her home, doing the work herself, and enlisted Dad's help with carpentry projects. She put up wallpaper and painted and screwed curtains and
She sure
bedspreads.
did.
Twice during my childhood, she created for me a bedroom wonderland. The first, the word of the day is wonderland.
Yeah.
Hey Bailey,
Hi, Bailey.
she said. Hey, beautiful spiritual parents, love you all. And so, Wonderland. Let's see. The first bedroom was downstairs and was purple and lavender.
Oh,
The curtains, bedspread, and pillow shams were lavender with purple ruffles. The wallpaper was floral lavender, and the furniture and trim were painted white.
I bet it was beautiful.
Mhm.
I bet it was beautiful.
Or if it still had the door then.
I don't know.
We didn't have air conditioning, so I slept with the bedroom window open,
Absolutely.
starting in early spring. A lilac bush was outside my window, and the fragrance permeated my bedroom.
Mm.
To this day, the smell of lilac instantly brings me back to my childhood. The following photo, taken when Tony was a baby, gives you a glimpse of my bedroom.
Oh, look at that. Look how cute you are.
Let's see if I can only get the without. And maybe you can read it while then I'm waiting.
Let's see.
While I'm showing it to. No, I'm just kidding.
No, okay.
They can read what's underneath it.
It kind of looks like Peter and Braden, a mixture of both.
All right. When I was 14 years old, Mom decided I needed a more grown-up room. I'm looking at the wallpaper; it almost looks like upstairs. I wanted to move upstairs. She decorated that room in red, white, and blue.
Oh,
Let's see, 14. I've been 70. Okay. The wallpaper was white and blue. The bedspread and the fabric walls hanging over the bed of my the head of my bed were red uh, Chanel, and the new dark blue carpet. The bed was a familiar heirloom handed down from Grandma's family. I am wearing the new pajamas I received for Christmas in the photo.
listen. Oh, look at you and her.
I don't know why I'm not in my pajamas. I had pajamas that matched
What
hers.
was your pajamas? Where's your
We
jam
both
jam?
got the same pajamas for Christmas.
Where's your
Or-
jam jams?
I don't know. I guess they wanted me to dress up like I'm
A little
like
man.
a little Roy Flatmore or something. A double-breasted suit. That mirror is right over there.
Yeah, it sure
Yeah.
is. We got the mirror right over there.
That was over the bed. It hung over the mantle for years.
We've got it here with us now.
Yeah, now I have another bedroom suit I can just find a
Yeah,
place for.
yeah. Well, Braden wants his, so we'll put it in his room.
Next question. What is your best advice when it comes to raising children? I didn't have much experience raising children as most mothers. When I was 12 years old, my brother Tony was born. I was old enough to take on parental type roles, but I never stayed with him alone, and my mother never asked me to change a diaper. She said he wasn't my responsibility.
Okay.
I became Ollie's stepmother when she was 5 years old. I had missed out on the first 5 years of her life, and even then, I only had responsibility for every other weekend and a couple of weeks during the summer. So you're with me through to you. I was almost 4, and then you
With
were with
Holly
her
after
from
5.
5 and on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she had you till you were 4, so.
Yeah. Yet, if you put your mind to it, it is impressive how much you can pack into such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Most parents are busy putting out fires and trying to get through the day today. I had the luxury of time to plan what I wanted to do with Holly, and want and what I wanted to teach her. I remember we're reading a book every time I was out there. I had to go home and buy the book so I could finish it. Yeah, that's the next thing. I read a plethora of books
Yeah.
and listened to podcasts. I learned that you must teach a child whatever it is you want them to know by the time they are 12.
Yep.
Because as they get older, they are resistant to hearing what you say. There were many things I wanted Holly to be able to do. Some, let's see, be able to do. Some of which I didn't have the opportunity to learn. And whenever Holly was at her home, I had an agenda of Bible reading, swimming lessons, roller skating, reading books aloud, as I took part in that.
I love reading books aloud.
Playing board games. I remember doing that with them, and learning to cook and sew. We had we made sure they were activities that were fun most of the time. When Holly was 10, I underwent a 2 year training program to become a Bethel Bible teacher. It involved a lot of Bible study and memorization of scriptures and biblical concepts that started in Genesis and went through the New Testament. I enlisted Holly's help with my homework, and in that way, she enjoyed learning Bible concepts. When I first became Holly's stepmother, I prayed every day that I would love Holly as if she was my own child.
That's
Without
right.
a couple of years, Holly called me mom, and we had grown to be as close as any mother and daughter. When grandkids Nelson, Ingrid, Hendrix came along, I wasn't sure if would be up to the task of taking care of them. I certainly had no experience or skills in caring for a newborn infant. Uh, it was pleasantly surprised to find an appetite and a talent for it. I don't have as much energy to keep up with them as I would like, but caring for grandchildren has been one of the greatest joys.
She's a great grandmother too. I mean, not a great grandma, but a wonderful grandmother. Wonderful grandmother.
My advice about raising children is to be intentional about it. Pray for your relationship with your child. Please determine what you want to teach your child and set goals to get it done. Don't let the years slip away. Most of all, enjoy every stage of their life and development. This stage will soon be over, and never come again.
No, it's like that. It's like that.
The next question is, what did you hide from your parents as a child? Hey, Sissy.
Well, hey, Sissy.
She says, hi, Tony and LaRonda, thanks. This is her book, so
Yes.
and this is dedicated to her.
Dedicated to you, Sissy.
Okay, so what did you hide, Sissy, when you were a child? even
Judy Burns.
even though we had a coal burning furnace in the basement, we used the fireplace in the living room for extra warmth during the winter. We didn't have long matches, and I had seen my mother use the technique of tightly rolling wax paper into a cylinder about 6 inches long and using that to light the fire. She would turn on the oven and torch her tightly rolled wax paper to the touch the tightly rolled wax paper to the heating
Mm-hmm.
element, then carry it carefully about 12 feet from the stove to the fireplace. One day, when I was about 8 years old, my parents left me alone in the house while they went to take care of something at the barn. My mother told me specifically not to touch the fireplace.
Of course.
Yeah, don't put that in her
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, no. Well, I'm gone.
Parenting technique number one: don't tell kids what you don't want them to do. They'll do.
No, because they'll do
While
it.
they were gone, the fire went out, and I hope to be helpful and demonstrate my capability. I got out the wax paper, rolled it into a tight cylinder about 6 inches long. I didn't realize that I couldn't roll it as tightly as my mother had. And I turned on the oven and lit the end of the wax paper,
Oh, no.
just as I had seen my mother. Because I didn't roll it tight, it burned very quickly. It burned my thumb and forefinger. I was holding the wax paper before I dropped it in the fireplace. Fortunately, it didn't cause any other damage.
Oh, God.
I knew I was in trouble because I had severely hurt my hand.
Oh.
But I would be in more trouble if Mom found out I had disobeyed her. I realized that what I had done was dangerous, so I treated the wound by running cold water on it, making it feel better. Then I remembered something about putting butter on a burn. No.
I've heard that too.
I would think that would make it worse.
I guess.
Oil.
I've heard
so
it.
I did that too. It didn't take it long to blister. Mom and Dad returned from the barn, and I was trying to hide my hand in a bowl of water with butter slathered on it. Eventually, Mom noticed something was wrong, but all I received was a scolding and TLC on my hand. Apparently, she thought the burn I suffered was punishment enough.
I believe it was.
Yes, face the consequences of
That's exactly right.
So the next question is, how is life different today compared to when you were a child? I grew up on a farm in rural Kentucky. In the area where I grew up, we were considered financially comfortable, but we were poor compared to how I live today. We had the basic necessities of life, but we worked hard to produce them.
That's right.
Growing most of our food, sewing our clothes, and driving an old used car, making do with what we had. Even as an adult, when I met Brian, I was barely getting by. As a couple, we have always had to watch our finances because we depend on the solo practice dentist office. Our salary was whatever we had left after paying our debts,
Right.
employees, and office expenses. It was never a lot, and sometimes it was very little. That's the reason in the beginning of this, Sissy, I don't know if you joined us, I recommended everybody go over to tuckercarlson.com. He interviewed Dave Ramsey a few days ago, and watch that podcast. It's a great help for couples with their finances.
Really good.
I grew up with an attitude. I don't get paid for that.
No.
Anyway, just in case you're wondering, that's not a paid promotion.
No.
I grew up with an attitude of hard work, saving for a rainy day, and delayed gratification. That helped me be happy and content with my life, and it enabled us to save toward a day when we could have the home and lifestyle we enjoy as seniors.
That's right.
Sissy said, "I love Dave Ramsey." Yes,
I
yes,
love Dave
yes, I love
Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey.
Yes, he's awesome.
And so the next question is, as a child, did you have a special place to play?
I guarantee it.
When I was about 9 years old, my mother renovated an old building behind her house into a playhouse that became my special place.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in there too. The building was originally a smokehouse where freshly butchered meat was smoked and cured so we could store it without refrigeration. It was being used for storage because our butchered beef and pork safely resided in the basement's deep freeze. The small building had a pitched shingle roof. Now it has a metal roof, about
Yep.
8 feet tall on the highest point, tapered down to about 5 feet on the side. It was about 8 feet wide and 10 feet deep with red shingle type siding. It was a that it was about like roofing, but it was siding. It was
Okay.
tar shingle uh, sheets
Yeah.
in the color of brick, looked like a little brick.
I bet it was
The
cute.
floor was about 2 feet off the ground and made of wooden planks. Mom, with my help, cleaned out the storage and put a cheerful blue floral wallpaper on all the walls and the pitched ceiling.
Of course she did.
I think
She
it,
had
I
that
think
talent.
it's for, the same wallpaper in the house. But anyway.
Okay.
One shelf about 4 feet high ran around the side of the four walls, and not to contradict Sissy, but I think it was actually used at a store down in town in Nancy. Dad had bought it and moved it up here from Nancy, and they were using it as a store.
Oh, the little building?
The little building.
Well.
But anyway, that was my understanding. But maybe it was a smokehouse. But more shelves were above that on the far wall. We painted the shelves, doors, and frames of the small windows. Of a small window. It was in the back and centered on the wall between the shelves at the far end, white. We laid linoleum on the wooden floor.
Wow.
We had just purchased new living room furniture, so Mom put the old gray sofa on the wall to the left and a matching chair on the wall to the right, and centered the Chester drawers painted white under the window at the far end.
Wow.
There wasn't much floor space, but it was comfortable and cozy. I remember I thought I must be colorblind. I thought it was brown, but maybe by the time I got
you are
it was
colorblind.
brown.
Cece said something else.
Yes, it was a store in Nancy. Mr. Otterson, the previous owner of our farm, had it moved to his property. Okay, and then he used it for a smokehouse.
He used it as a
I got
smokehouse.
it. Now I understand it.
The whole story.
I thought Dad moved it. The garage was a store downtown in Nancy too, and I don't know. I thought Dad moved them, but I guess the previous owner moved them there. But I spent a lot of time there. At first, playing house with my dolls, and then later reading books and enjoying a hangout with my friends.
Yeah.
It was my space for privacy during my adolescence and early teenage years.
That's awesome.
Before Mom renovated the upstairs, which became my refuge. My only regret is I don't have any pictures of it. The only picture I have are engraved in my memory. The image of Mammy Tartar and me shows the smokehouse to the right in the backyard. I'm sure she means
Let's see.
in the.
Oh yeah, I see it.
You can look at it after they look.
I'm
at it.
sorry. I'm being selfish. I'm selfish.
And so it's a little building to the right. That
I
that
love that.
that little tree grew up and is now gone.
Oh
You see,
wow.
there's no sidewalk
Yeah.
and how simple, no gutters on the house. So much has changed over the
It
years.
sure has.
Tell about an unusual relationship with a classmate. Is the next one. One day in early elementary school, a young girl in my class came up to me and announced, "I'm going home with you after school tomorrow and spend the night."
Oh,
I was
okay.
I was stunned and unsure what to do. I was nervous about the whole idea because I didn't know this girl and wasn't sure what we would do together or even talk about. That night, I told my
Oh
parents
my
what
gosh.
she said, and my mother said, as long as her mother says it's okay, bring her home and we will show her a good time.
Your mama get her saved.
My mom had a gift of
She
hospitality.
did.
And growing up in a family of 15 children, she was used to having people around. The
Yeah.
next day at school, Carolyn Sue uh, informed, that's Gossett, is Carolyn Sue Gossett, I think is who she's talking about, informed everyone that she was going home with me to spend the night. I think it's her mom and
She
dad
was proud.
that has that there on the corner of that big farm for sale.
Oh, okay.
That auction
Yeah.
that's coming up. I told you.
Yeah.
Our teacher specifically asked, and Carol and Sue assured her that she had her mother's permission. No. Oh, no. Oh no, it's not Gossett.
Oh.
Okay, it's not a Gossett. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Wrong person. At the end of the school day, Carolyn Sue boarded the school bus with me and excitedly bounded off the bus in front of our house. Mom had prepared for an arrival and had games, snacks, and a nice dinner simmering on the stove. It was only a short time before we were playing and having a great time.
Oh no.
About an hour after we arrived, a strange car pulled in the driveway. It was Carolyn Sue's mother. She hurried over to her daughter and wrapped her in her arms. I think she had been crying. She told us that she panicked when Carolyn Sue didn't get off the school bus at home.
Oh.
Her phone call to the school resulted in a call to our teacher, who then called the bus driver. They briefed Carolyn and Sue's mother on the situation. After exchanging pleasantries, a sad little girl left with her mother. She didn't get to eat a nice dinner or spend the night. Carolyn, Sue, and I were in the same class throughout elementary and high school. We were never close friends, but we always had the memory of that day.
Oh, Sissy, you made me cry. Oh.
What inventions have had the biggest impact on your day-to-day life? That would be the computer. When I was a little girl, my Uncle Leonard Atkins had a manual typewriter that he had picked up in Europe during World War II. I wanted to play with it, and my dad insisted that I learn from the beginning to type the correct way with the fingers typing on the right keys. Yeah, he told me, and I got to play typewriter, that if he caught me not using the home keys, I was going to get a spanking. He had taken typing in high school and knew how to do it correctly. I spent my time typing over and over. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. I guess that uses every letter of the alphabet except for Z.
Mom and Dad told me to type that too. That must be what they learned in high school.
Right. In my junior and senior year in high school, I had an opportunity to attend a vocational school for high school credits. My personality adapted well to the office administration classes, and I took classes I took, such as typing, shorthand, and accounting. They were converting from manual to electric typewriters, so I became proficient in both. Before word processing and
Mm-hmm.
copying machines, we use stencils and carbon paper to make copies, multiple copies of the typed document. Typing with most uh, perfect accuracy was critical because it was challenging to correct stencils in carbon.
Yep.
I was proud that I could type more than 120 words per minute
Wow,
with only
Sissy.
one or two errors. Computers were massive when I worked. Uh, uh, when I worked at the Veteran Administration Hospital in Lexington, Kentucky. Our six-story building had one computer in the climate-controlled room on the second floor. We had to schedule an appointment and go to that room to use the computer. After the invention of personal computers, more people had access, but it was many years before they were affordable enough for the average person, including me. My first personal computer didn't have any software. I put in a floppy disk that contains the
Yeah,
software and access that through DOS.
I remember that.
Uh, when the internet came along, the computer world exploded.
Yep.
I have never been able to afford the latest technology, but I've always kept up to date and learned what was necessary to use the computer
Yeah.
efficiently. In my work life, home life, and retirement life, I enjoy the benefits computers bring with most people these days take for granted. My grandfather was born in 1900. He benefited from the invention of the radio, television, automobile, the airplane, the
Airplane.
ballpoint pen, space travel, computers, and uh, uh, medical advances,
Yeah.
too numerous to name. He died in 1998, and it is said that the 20th century, his lifetime, may have seen more um, technological and scientific progress than all the other centuries combined since the dawn of civilization.
100%. Yeah. My grandparent was born, Papa Shepherd was born in 1899.
So I didn't see going to the moon or something like
Right.
that. But I think we will knock off there. We're getting past the 30-minute mark. And so we will pick up next time is, do you have any siblings? So this is a cliffhanger. Will Sissy tell you about me?
Oh! Oh no! Join us
Or
tomorrow
will
night.
she deny that she has a brother?
Tune in, same bat channel, same bat time.
Love you, Sissy.
Love
I
you.
do want to encourage you to like. I do. Let me pull up and tell you. Since we've done the last Waycast, our channel has sort of exploded a little bit.
Yeah.
We have 9,300 likes. We encourage you to subscribe. Uh, Love you, Sissy.
Love you.
And so we encourage you to subscribe not only here but on Rumble.
Who's ready to rumble?
We have increased almost probably 150 subscribers since we did the last the Way to a Great Marriage Cast. We have 629 subscribers today.
Thank you all.
Views, lifetime views. We broke the 300,000 mark since we did the last Way to a Great Marriage Cast.
That's
we have
crazy.
361,400 views in lifetime of the channel. Comments, there's 461. That seems low to me because I thought that one video that went viral, went crazy. I thought it had like 300 comments or something like that. But
oh, really?
It had a whole bunch.
Well,
I'm still answering them today.
Yeah.
And then share. We have 3,100 shares. I encourage you to share the Against All Odds Waycast that I've got pinned to the top of the channel. It's a great evangelistic tool. So if you can think of somebody who doesn't know Jesus as their Lord and Savior, I encourage you to share that with them. Pray for them first that they'll be receptive and watch it in its entirety.
Absolutely.
And so I asked you to share that. In the last week, we have had 139,400 views, which
Wow.
it keeps increasing every day, more and more. We keep going up. I remember whenever I was trying to get 4,000 or 5,000 views a week out of the channel. And that was about 500 views a day or something like
Yeah.
that. Is about what we're doing. We went
Thank
to
you all.
600 views, 700 views, then 4,000 views, and then 10,000 views, and now we're up to 139,400
Keep coming
views
with us.
per week, and so we appreciate that.
Yes.
And so if you don't get upset with me if you see other things, we put it in playlists, so you can
Yeah.
find the Way to a Great Marriage Cast all
On one thing.
109 episodes in one playlist. So if you want to just watch that, you can go back
Yeah.
and catch up and watch them all.
But then don't forget about the Waycast,
Well,
because Tony's read from Matthew all the way. He's in Romans, so it's wonderful.
I'm in Romans chapter 13 tonight.
13 is
It's,
tonight.
we've done Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, and now Romans. We're a few chapters away from finishing the first volume 4
Yay.
completely. And so then there's Glory Land. It's another playlist.
Yes.
Each of those books have a different playlist. So if you want to watch just the Waycast, you can do that and
Yeah.
catch up on the Waycast, or you can watch each book individually. And I've created a playlist for those.
That's
Glory
awesome.
Land has this playlist if you want to watch Uncle Cecil. Most people
Yes.
love the music
Yes.
there, and so I encourage you to do that. And so but if you see things on there, I post Fortnite, I post family videos. Braden was in a parade, Sissy, this weekend. You can see him. You can see the parade. It's hard.
Marching.
He did not look like himself.
We didn't know who he was.
Well, I did. He's in the last row in the middle.
Yes.
I turn around and I get him from the back.
But you know what you said? I think that's Braden.
He has
He looks so grown up.
much, and the
Yeah.
uniform is a little scary seeing
It
the
was.
uniform. It looked like he was 18 and
Sure.
getting ready to go off to war.
Oh, I know it did.
But anyway, so there's family videos on there. I don't have those in playlists. There's old Eagle Heights videos. There's lots of things that are on the YouTube channel. It's basically like I did Facebook, but see, nobody watched anything I did on Facebook, so that's why then I'm on YouTube. At least people watch it, even though
They do.
they give me trouble over. They don't let me speak the truth on a couple of issues like Molech and pharmakeia, and so but as long as they'll let me speak and not shadow ban me, and people are seeing what they put on there,
Right.
I put things on here, and so
There's lots of good things, and we want you to join us. We try to do this every night. Like Tony told you when we first started, I've been really sick this week, but I told him, I said, I want to do Waycast tonight. He said, really? And I was like, yeah.
yeah, I thought she was didn't feel well.
I
She's
know.
got a kidney infection. She's had trouble with her kidneys since she was born, and so you can pray for her.
I appreciate it.
And she was like last night, tomorrow you're gonna have to take me to the ER if I still have a fever. I don't want to go septic. And
Yeah.
so, but she, I guess, popped out of it today. And
Yeah, thank you, Jesus. And you know what? Look, I wore my shirt that says, life is scary without Jesus. Don't forget that. That's my Halloween shirt, only it's life is scary without Jesus.
So with that, we say.
Good night, until we meet again. Adios, au revoir, I'll be the same till then.
And though it's always sweet sorrow to part,
You know you'll always remain in my heart. Good night, sleep tight, and blessed dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that everything comes true. And now till we meet again. Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.
wonderful. You. Me saying goodnight. Love you, Sissy. Love you,
Friends,
Wayne.
there you have our
Thank you,
show.
everybody.
Hit songs and fashions through the years. We hope we brought you some pleasant